So diode is having many applications. In that, few of the applications we are going to study in this particular module. Among them, rectifier is one of the major applications. Rectifiers are the one of the major application of the diode. So rectifiers are the devices which are going to convert AC to DC. So the process of conversion of AC to DC is known as rectification. So the devices which are used to convert this AC to DC is known as rectifiers, and the process of doing this rectifier is known as rectification. So we are going to convert the 230 volt supply, whatever we are getting, to our required DC level, because many of the devices which we are going to use are working based upon DC signal only. They need a constant same voltage or same current all the time. So during that time, we need to give DC, because if AC is given, it is alternating current which will be keep on changing with respect to time. So that kind of changes the device or the instrument may not be capable of withstanding. And also the 230 volt supply, it cannot be withstand by a normal device. We have to scale it down to the required level. So for that purpose, we are going to use rectifiers. So even though we tell it is going to convert AC to DC, but the rectifiers alone cannot do this. So later on, we will be studying one more application called regulators. So after passing it through AC signal through rectifiers, we have to pass the output of rectifier to regulator, because even though rectifiers we tell is it is going to convert it to DC, but still there will be some AC component in the output. So in order to eliminate this AC component, we will be using a filter made up of capacitor or inductor. Even then, there will be some fluctuations. To avoid those fluctuations, we will add a regulator. So regulator is also one of the important application which we will be studying later. So now, first we'll study about the rectifiers. So in rectifiers, basically we are having two types of rectifier. One is half wave rectifier, and the other one is full wave rectifier. So these are the two types we are having. But in full wave rectifier, again we are having two types. One is center tapped full wave rectifier, and other one is bridge rectifier. So many of them having this confusion that rectifiers are of three types. No, rectifiers are of only two types. But in the full wave rectifier, we are having two subtypes, two different types. But both the full wave rectifier types, whatever we are having, both of them are going to give same efficiency, and they are going to perform to the same level. But the overall construction of the circuit is quite different compare among themselves, because of the limitations in center tapped. They went on for bridge rectifier. Okay, so this is the classification: half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier. These are the two classifications we are having. In this, first we'll start with half wave rectifier. See, as the name itself tells, half wave rectifier. That means this circuit or rectifier is going to rectify only half of the input signal. So if you take a signal, means this is one complete signal, one complete full cycle, where we are having positive half cycle and negative half cycle. This is known as positive half cycle. This is known as negative half cycle. Each half cycles will be having 180-degree angle. That is 0 to 180-degree with respect to the positive half cycle. Again, negative half cycle will be from 180-degree to 360-degree, which gives again 180-degree difference. So here each half cycles are going to be processed in the rectifier, but in half a rectifier it is going to rectify only one of the half cycle. One of the half cycle means it is going to rectify the positive half cycle, and during half the secondary half cycle, that is when negative half cycle is passed through the rectifier, it is going to give out zero voltage, even though your input voltage might be, so let us take, this is plus 5, this is minus 5. So peak to peak voltage, when we consider peak to peak, means from this peak to this peak, so peak to peak voltage is 10 volt. If we just take peak voltage, this is also represented as Vm, it is 5 volt. Peak voltage is 5 volt. Okay, and any signal, whatever you give, it will be equally uh, distributed between positive and negative half cycle. See, like suppose you are going to give 7 volt. So in 7 volt, then the signal will be like this. So positive half cycle will be 3.5, negative half cycle will be minus 3.5. So any cycle, any signal or any voltage, whatever you give in AC, it will be shared in two equal halves. So here, as I told, this is known as peak voltage. Again, this is known as peak voltage. If you take from this peak to this peak, this will be known as peak to peak voltage. Then it will be 7 volt. If they are asking you what is the peak voltage of this signal, then you should tell it is 3.5 volt. If they are asking peak to peak, then you should tell it is 7 volt. Okay, because this understanding you require for in the derivations, whatever will be carrying out in half a full wave rectifier. So if you don't know the difference between peak voltage and peak to peak voltage, then you cannot understand why we are doing like this and all. And also, a signal can be represented both in voltage as well as current. The same
Excuse
way, yes, tell me.
sir, can you repeat this again?
Okay. See, if you take a signal like this and they're telling you this signal is of 7 volt. Okay, this signal is of 7 volt. Okay, let us take any other value, 10 volt. Then if this signal is of 10 volt, means that indicates from this peak to these are known as peak levels of a signal. From this peak to this peak, the voltage is 10 volt. You are going to measure the voltage from this peak to this peak. So this value to this value you are going to measure. So then this voltage is considered to be the peak to peak voltage. If suppose they are just asking you what is the peak voltage, they are not telling peak to peak, they are just telling what is the peak voltage. Peak voltage means you are just considering the peak level of half cycle, whether it might be negative or positive. This will be 5 volt, this will also be 5 volt, even this will be negative, this will be positive, that's it. But the signal, peak to peak signal 10 volt, will be equally divided among positive as well as negative. Is there
Thank
any
you, sir.
doubt? Okay. See, after this, I was telling you can represent a signal by using voltage versus time, or you can represent a signal by using current versus time. So both the possibilities are there. So you can even represent a signal with respect to current also. It doesn't mean always you should use voltage and time only. You can represent even with respect to current also. That is also allowed. Okay. Okay. Now, these are the basic things which you should know, and you should know the difference between peak voltage and peak to peak voltage. So now coming to the half wave rectifier, this is known as half wave rectifier because it is just going to work on half of the cycle. One cycle means this is one complete cycle. It is going to rectify only this much. This portion is considered to get it converted to DC, and this portion is completely considered as zero. Okay, why it will consider it as zero? Let us see. So with circuit we can understand it better. So we have an AC source, and we'll be using a transformer since we want to step it down. The voltage we need to step down. So step down transformer is used. This is the 230 volts 50 hertz supply we are having. To this secondary of the transformer, we are going to connect one diode, and the other terminal of the diode, that is cathode, it will be connected to the load. So load in the sense it might be any device. You might connect your mobile only. Mobile itself is a load, but we cannot rate it as mobile, TV, fridge, and all. That's why we just consider it as load resistance. Load resistance means something which you are going to connect it to the device, maybe for charging. A fan is a load, a bulb is a load, because they are having some resistance in them. So that's why they are going to be considered as load resistance. Across this load resistance, whatever we are going to get, that is considered to be the output voltage. And whatever you will be getting across the secondary of the transformer, that is considered to be the input voltage. Now, this 230 volt supply is being given to the primary coil of the transformer, and based upon our requirement, we will be using different turns ratios of the transformer. So there are different ratings of transformers which are available, like 10 0 10, 7 0 7, 15 0 15, like this. That means if it is 10 0 10, then this indicates that if you're using a single diode, then your output will be around 10 volts. That means input whatever is given is 10 volts. If you are using two diodes, then for each diode, the input given will be 10 volts. So totally the output will be 20 volts. It is like that. So based upon the based upon the requirements, we are going to choose the transformers. So these transformers are given in this kind of rating 15 0 15. That means this is 15. There will be a midpoint here 0, and here will be 15. So from here to here, it is going to give 15 volt. From here to here, it is going to give 15 volt in this way. So that is the rating which is given to the transformer. So based upon our requirements, based upon our what kind of application you are going to use. Suppose you want to use this rectifier to charge your mobile, then you need to use around 606, because maximum the mobile needs 5 volts. So if you give 20 volts or 30 volts, then you are going to lose your mobile because it cannot withstand that high voltage. So whatever, see, this is the circuits which are present in our adapter. Whatever we use to charge our mobile or any device, no, inside this adapter we have rectifier, capacitor, filter, regulator. So all together forms an adapter. That's why even though we are going to touch the pin, it will not get shock, because it is already converted to DC, and it is stepped down to 5 volt or 10 volts or 12 volts, which will not affect us. Fine. So coming to this, as I told, the ratings depends upon the number of turns. So based upon the requirement, the number of turns of the coil will be designed. So that kind of transformer we are going to consider. Here an input signal, AC signal, has been given. At this point also, that is at the secondary also, we are going to get AC signal only, but it is the step down version of the main source. Here it was 230 volts, here it will be lesser than that. Now, during positive half cycle means this one. So during positive half cycle, the current is going to flow in clockwise direction. When the current is going to flow in clockwise direction, what will happen to the diode? Whether it gets forward biased or reverse biased?
Forward biased.
Forward biased. Okay. So it will get forward biased because positive is given to this and negative will be given on the other side, and usually this will be grounded. Ground, or we call it as a common point, or it is ground. Even though if you don't mention it also, it is understood. It is a common point. So this is going to form one complete loop. So when during positive half cycle, let me draw the waveforms. And in exam also, while writing, you should write the waveforms in line with the input. So because the time period has to match. Okay. So now during positive half cycle, this cycle, the diode gets forward biased. So we know that the diode is going to get forward bias means it is going to act as short circuit or a closed switch. So you have to write three diagrams. Here I'm writing it in a single diagram, but in exam with actual circuit, then one more circuit with which is showing the forward bias condition of the diode, and one more condition or one more circuit which is showing the reverse bias condition of the diode. So now here, just for our understanding, we have taken an ideal case. That means it is not having any voltage drop. If there is voltage drop also, what will happen? 0.7 volt difference will be created. That means if you are giving 5 volts here, here you will be getting 4.3 volts. So 0.7 or 0.3 voltage will be dropped across this diode. Just for our understanding and just for the discussion purpose, we have considered that it doesn't have any drop, or we are not talking about that itself, because we are more bothered about the working procedure of half wave rectifier. But practically speaking, so diode will be having 0.3, 0.7. So when you get the output, you'll not get the same exactly as input. So there will be some drop in the output voltage. So when diode is forward biased, during that time, the output will be like this. Now, during next cycle, negative half cycle, the current is going to flow in anti-clockwise direction. So when it is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, what will happen to the diode? See that the current is flowing in this direction, that is from cathode to anode, it is trying to pass. What will happen during that time? What will happen to the diode? Whether it will be forward biased or reverse biased, or
Reverse bias, sir.
it will be reverse biased. Why it will be reverse biased? Why not forward biased?
Negative.
Yeah, tell.
Sir, this negative terminal is connected with positive and positive P type is connected with negative. So
Hmm.
it's reverse bias.
Yes, good. See, the current is flowing in opposite direction, which indicates that the cathode is connected to positive, anode is connected to negative. See, here connection is not changing, but the current direction is changing. When current direction is changing, the diode receives the signal as a reverse bias condition because current is flowing in opposite direction. When diode was connected like this in forward bias condition, the current was coming like this. So when in reverse bias condition, the current will be flowing in opposite direction. So here also the current is flowing in opposite direction means obviously it is similar to the reverse bias condition. So during that time, this diode is going to act as open circuit. The open circuit in the sense it is going to offer highest resistance. So because of that, the current cannot flow through the load because if any one of the any part of the circuit is open, then current cannot flow. Okay, even though you can tell current is already flowing no with RL, it is not like that. The current has to close the loop. It has to the point where it starts to it has to come and close that. But here the current is not allowed to pass to the other this terminal. So that's why the current will not flow. So the output voltage will be 0. This voltage, output voltage is the voltage which is coming across RL. Similarly, you can write the waveform for current also. So current will be flowing in positive half cycle. During negative half cycle, it will be 0. Okay. Now, next again, we got a positive half cycle. So during this time, what will happen? Yes, you should discuss. You should open up your mouth.
The direction of current and the way in which diode is kept, it will be in forward biased conditions.
Yes.
So there
So,
will,
tell.
so we can
So,
expect waveform in positive direction.
yes. So again, clockwise signal, clockwise direction, the current starts flowing. Diode gets forward biased. Again, you'll be having because of that. Since it is forward biased, it acts like a short circuit. It is going to form a closed loop. For current to flow, it needs a closed loop. So it is a closed loop. So current is going to flow. So that's why we will be getting the output voltage and output current is also obtained. Now again we got a negative half cycle. During a negative half cycle, again the current is going to change the direction. When it is going to change the direction, during that time the diode will get reverse biased. So when diode gets reverse biased, it acts like open circuit. When it acts like open circuit, the loop will be opened. So it will not be a closed loop. So when loop is not closed, during that time the current cannot flow. So hence the current across RL and voltage across RL will be 0. So we will write it as 0. We'll write it as 0. See now, this is the working. So what you have to tell? So we are having as AC source and step down transformer. We are having a diode which is having two cases, forward bias condition, reverse bias condition. In forward bias condition, the current is going to flow through the load resistance. Hence, we are going to get the output. During reverse bias condition or during negative half cycle of the input, the diode is going to be reverse biased. Because of that, the output will be 0. This is how actually the rectifier works. Now, I was telling this is AC signal, and by just looking into the diagram, by just seeing the shape of this waveforms, that is, it is changing with respect to time. Here it was some value, there it is some value, here it's some value, again here the voltages keep on changing with respect to time. Just look into the output. Whether this is a pure DC, because DC means you need to get a straight line. For DC, the voltage will be straight. And remember, for DC, you don't have any frequency. Only AC will have frequency. DC will not have any frequency. Okay. And because there is no fluctuation at all, so it will be continuous like this. It will be straight line. If it is 5 volt, it will be 5 volt. For if you keep it for 1 hour also, it will be 5 volt only. But this is going to change with respect to time. For every second, this is going to change its level. Now, if you just observe with input and output, are you able to get DC voltage here? Just by seeing the waveform.
No, sir.
No, right? Because there is fluctuation again in the output also. See this fluctuation, what does it indicate? What does it indicate? This kind of shape. So this kind of shape indicates that there is AC in it, right? Now, the same question I'm asking in a different way. This kind of shape, what does it indicate? Shripal? What is your answer? This kind of shape.
Sine wave.
Sine wave, fine. I'm asking about current. What type of current it is? AC or DC? Or AC voltage, DC voltage? See, anything I told you, anything which is going to vary with respect to time is AC. DC is constant with respect to time. For any time, it will be constant only. So at the output, if you are getting a shape like this, that indicates it is containing AC components in it. Actually speaking, our intention was to convert AC to DC. In the process of conversion of AC to DC, we were expecting that the diode is capable of converting AC to DC. But the output of this diode across the load is giving a shape like this. This indicates that AC components are still present. That is, AC is still present in the output voltage. So it will be having, since it is passed through the diode, it will be having DC in it. Along with this DC, AC components are also present. AC components in the sense AC signal. AC signal is also mixed up with this DC signal. That's why we are getting a shape like this. Okay. the presence of AC signal in DC output is known as ripple. Is known as ripple. Okay, the presence of AC component in DC output is known as ripple. See, what are we expecting across this output voltage? Are you expecting AC or DC?
DC.
DC. But along with this DC, you are getting AC also. So that extra, the unwanted signal is AC now. AC is the unwanted signal at the output because we are only expecting DC to be present. So that unwanted AC component which is present at the DC output is known as ripple. Okay, to remove this ripple only, in the later part we will be using a capacitor. We will use a capacitor, and even capacitor is not capable of removing everything. Later on we go for one more application called regulator. Okay, that's why, see, in a house, if the tube light is flickering, then we'll tell some regulator problem might be there, because the regulator is the one which is going to give a constant voltage to the device. If regulator has gone, so flickering will occur. Okay, like that. So that we'll discuss it later. So this is how it works. After this, we need to derive expressions for different parameters. So this derivation is very, very important. And among this half wave, full wave with center tap and bridge rectifier, among this one question is 100% you'll get. For 8 to 10 marks, 100% you'll get with explanation and derivation. So we are having, each of them are having some 4 to 5 derivations by each of them. But if you learn one, the same thing is been same kind of derivations, just you need to change the values. Okay, now coming to the derivation, before going on to the derivation, see, sinusoidal wave is represented like this, and this is a pictorial representation. How do we mathematically represent this? We represent this as Vi is equal to Vm sin omega t. So Vi means it is the total instantaneous voltage. So which is going to include everything. What is Vm? I had just discussed.
Peak voltage.
Peak voltage. So peak voltage means this voltage or this voltage. I take it as 1 and this is 2. Whether Vm is 1 or 2.
Once.
One.
1. Very good. So Vi is equal to Vm sin. See, if mathematically we are telling how our signal is. But just in a single equation, we can tell what and all, it will give you an idea about a signal. Vm, that means it is going to give you how much voltage it has. Sine, that indicates it is a sinusoidal, it is in the sinusoidal wave. And omega, omega indicates it is angular frequency, which is 2 pi f. So f gives frequency of that signal. See, all the parameters of this particular signal is just expressed in a single equation. Okay, Vi is equal to Vm sin omega t. And there is no rule that you should use sine only. You can use cos also. Vi is equal to Vm cos omega t. You can use that also, no issues. But the thing is, it starts from 0 and it will end with 360 degree. But if you consider the cos, it will be like this. The waveform for the cos will be like this because it starts from 90 degree. Okay, so that's why we usually go for sine. So even you can go for cos also. There is no rule that you should use sine. See, it is whatever the sine or a triangular wave, square wave. See, this is our just imagination. Nobody has seen that how current is. It is just for our analysis purpose. just for our understanding purpose, we have created it. We are using it. We are drawing it in this form, and we are trying to analyze it just for our making our task easy. Fine. So this is the total instantaneous voltage. The same way you can write for the current also. So I is equal to Im sin omega t, or this you can make it as capital. This indicates the current. If the given signal is represented in the form of a current, then I is equal to Im sin omega t. You can write it is a total instantaneous current, it is a peak current, sine wave, angular frequency, and this is time. So 2 pi f. Even this omega t can be written as I is equal to Im sin theta. Instead of omega t, you can just directly represent with respect to theta. The same way here also, Vm sin theta. Both are same. Instead of omega t, you can represent with respect to theta. Okay. Now starting with the derivation. The first derivation is on DC or average current. Okay. DC or the average current. So this is represented by IDC. So for finding out the average current or DC current, DC, we are going to take the basic equation. Average DC is equal to area under the curve over full cycle by time period. So we have obtained the output like this, right? For one complete cycle, that is starting from 0, 180 degree, 360 degree. For one complete, or we can write it as 0, pi, 2 pi. For one complete signal, we are getting cycle, we are getting this output. That is, we are getting only the output in positive half cycle, we are getting 0 in the negative half cycle. Here, area under the curve over full cycle. See, area under the curve means only this is the curve. We don't have any curve here. So area under the curve over full cycle. So area under the curve over full cycle means, can you tell me this cycle is to what angle this cycle is flowing? Whatever we have considered, no, area under the curve over full cycle, to what angle this cycle, the curve cycle is flowing?
360 degree.
That is full cycle. But when you are considering this, because we are telling area under the curve, see here we don't have any curve.
180.
180 degree. So we will write I is equal to Im sin theta. Instead of omega t, we will write it as theta directly. So now we will write the equation with respect to this. IDC is equal to, say, total time period is how much? Total time period is how much for the cycle, input cycle? What is the total time period for one full cycle?
2 pi.
2 pi. Okay. Now, first we'll write instantaneous signal 0 to 2 pi Im sin theta. So first, this is the first step. Okay, this tells that the current is in the range from 0 to 2 pi. Whatever the current we have taken, it is in the range of 0 to 2 pi. Now we will split it up into two halves, because positive cycle flows from 0 to pi and negative cycle flows from pi to 2 pi. So we'll split it up. 0 to pi Im sin theta plus pi to 2 pi Im sin theta divided by 2 pi. Okay. Now tell me, what is the value of Im in the range 0 to pi and what is the value of Im in the range pi to 2 pi? Peak current is Im only. Somewhere here you get minus Im. Tell me, look into the figure and tell me, what is Im value in 0 to pi and what is Im value from pi to 2 pi?
From 0 to pi it is Im, from pi to 2 pi it is 0.
Yes, very good. See, because we are taking area under the curve over full cycle, so 0 to pi, this is 0 to pi, no? So we have a signal and it is having some peak. So that will be retained. 1 by 2 pi, we'll take it up. 0 to pi Im sin theta plus, see this instead of plus will end up here only. Pi to 2 pi, the current is 0. So this tends to 0. So we will be having only this equation. Now, so Im is also the constant value, peak value. So we'll take it outside and integrate sine theta. So when you integrate sine theta, it becomes minus cos theta 0 to pi. So that becomes Im by 2 pi minus of cos pi minus cos 0. So minus Im by 2 pi into cos pi is minus 1. This is minus 1. So that becomes minus Im into minus 2 by 2 pi plus 2 gets cancelled and you will be having Im by pi. So this is the current equation, DC current equation, IDC. So if you want, you can take 1 by pi value and you can write it as 0.318 Im also, or you can stop it here. In the same way, if you have found the current, DC current, you can find the DC voltage also. So you can use the same thing and you can just rewrite it. Rewrite DC voltage according to the Ohm's law. So we know VDC is equal to IDC into RL. So we have already obtained IDC, that is Im by pi into RL. But see here, IDC is proportional to Im. In the same way, VDC should be proportional to what?
VM.
Vm. So now we have to convert this Im in terms of Vm. To convert Im in terms of Vm, again we have to use the Ohm's law only. So we will be having Im is equal to Vm by RL plus RF plus RS. So what is this RL, RF, RS? RL, we know that it is the load resistance. RF means it is a forward resistance of the diode. I repeat it again. It is the forward resistance of the diode. RF, F comes means it is a forward resistance of the diode. RS means it is the secondary winding resistance. Secondary winding resistance, that is secondary coils of the transformer. Those the coils are offering some resistance that is been considered. So we will write it here. So Vm by pi into RL plus RF plus RS. But when you consider the the resistance of the load and the resistance of forward resistance and the winding resistance, the load resistance will be very high compared to the forward resistance, because the forward resistance will be having a very low resistance, that is around, it comes around usually 10 ohm. 10 ohm is nothing with respect to load. You have we have seen RL will be usually in terms of kilo ohm. When you consider 1 kilo, 10 ohm is nothing. It is almost ignorant. So that's why we'll ignore RF plus RS and we will substitute it back. So now Vm by pi into RL by RL. So this entire thing becomes RL. RL get cancels and we'll be having VDC is equal to Vm by pi. This is the equation for the DC voltage. And this here also I was telling 0.318 Im. That means this indicate that output current whatever you are getting, the output current whatever you are getting, no, among that output current only 31.8% of the current is DC. Only 31.8% of the output current is DC. So remaining thing is what?
AC.
AC. That's why I was telling we are getting a shape like this, no? This contains AC plus DC. In this, only 31.8% is the DC, remaining thing is AC. So that's why in the later on topics we use a capacitor to remove this AC signal. So still we have some more derivations, so that we'll do it in the next class. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me.